What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Smashing Pumpkins, and we're returning to Adore 1998. Thank you again to Sofia, as well as to Luca, who hopefully will continue on to the chair. Nope, I think it's going to be the lap. But yes, the next tune in the playlist is Annie Dog, which is spelled with a hyphen. I don't quite know what to make of this. It could be about a dog more literally. I find that maybe less likely. I will mention, though I don't think this is relevant either, when I was in my teens and in my 20s, maybe especially, me and a few friends of mine, we'd often call each other by a name, like, hey, Tim Dog, what's up, man? So I feel like it could be something like that. This is 98, and I was a 17/18-year-old in 1998, so maybe it's in that vein. But I feel like that would be less likely because, again, Billy has very cleverly, artfully, and sometimes emotionally written songs, and that feels more just like, silly friends talking to each other, though I suppose it's not impossible. Either way, I will try to catch what I can on a first listen. This is Smashing Pumpkins. The tune is Annie Dog, and it's from their 1998 album Adore.
And a dog has a leash and a face, a velvet spleen, a shackled spine, a diamond curse. It comes with mine, a vessel sheath for violent eye, confession arms away. Mine, you were always mine, possessed by my taste. And below the angel dove comes ahead and sings her songs. The bombs go off, she doesn't notice, it all goes wrong. She sets things tragic, she is Venus, she is mine. Mercury age. She holds the blood, she carves the knives, she takes the wives and our babies. Amphetamine, antidote, pulls the trash and the stories from place to place and bed to bed. Gives herself and the magnet head. Another ceiling, counting stars with double meanings. Is it wrong to be swallowed whole, to disappear in her, to give to her the priceless peace of giving up control? We tumble out into the streets in any dog. She drags a leash, pretty face, ugly mouth, bitter breath, and so relieved. And in the yes, and it goes. If you couldn't guess, a simple man, a single thing, her elephant with a laughing cough. She wants clean sheets and fresh flowers, her dental shots and Hong Kong blue, amphetamine, antidote.
Another cool tune. I'm really intrigued by this one lyrically, though I didn't catch enough of it to have a strong hypothesis on what it's about, but more on that in a moment. I will say it's a pretty low-key tune relative to some of their other tracks. It's obviously the piano just kind of gives us the foundation of melody. There is some drums, and some of the drumming was almost like live jazz drumming. It had a bit of a like improvisational jazz feel to it. And Billy's vocals are themselves pretty low key, and almost at a couple points it feels like it's deliberately low energy, like he's either emotionally, maybe psycho, like cognitively, or just in a place where he's not giving off a lot. Like he's not, it's not a big performance, and I do wonder again if it might have to do with the lyrics, which I suppose to explain that, I'll say right away he says amphetamine. It's like, okay, so amphetamines, you know, like drugs that can be used, I guess, for some medicinal or therapeutic purposes, but of course amphetamines, like speed, is used recreationally and addictively. And I wondered, like, you know, he's talking about an actual dog on a leash, but that could be like a metaphor. And then he's talking at some point about getting control. And I wondered, like, is this about addiction? Is this about him being, like, on a leash? Or is he talking about Annie, maybe, and she's the one who's on the leash? She's the one who's not in control because she's trapped by the use of amphetamines. But there was a line about, like, when the bombs go off and so on. So there's some lines in there that I couldn't really place. But I wondered if that low-energy vocal delivery is because it's someone who's sort of just caught in this loop, caught in this doldrum of control by a substance, maybe. And even if it's not the narrator himself, maybe he's, again, describing, I spilled tea on myself, describing Annie, and that, like, she's Annie dog because she is on this leash and, you know, she can't go wherever she wants. So I don't know if that's the case, but again, compared to some other vocal performances, even ones where he's not, like, you know, shout singing like he does in some of the bigger, like, heavier tunes, it's still a pretty depressed, not like necessarily anyway depressive, but like it is not inflated, it's not big, it's sort of flatter. But though I don't mean that in a melodic way, it's not a critique, it's like a style of delivery that he has. Either way, again, it's a pretty mellow tune. I enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed trying to follow along with the lyrics, and as I said, there were some bits of lines that I didn't hear clearly, so it's one that I'll have to go back and listen to, but obviously feel free to offer any insight if you have some, and let me know what you think. Again, this album is not only, I think, very enjoyable, but, you know, you follow up a masterpiece album, a double album like Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, never an easy thing to do, but I think this album is very compelling, and even if it didn't hit in the same way, I think it is a completely strong follow-up to, again, rightly what is regarded as a masterpiece. And again, Siamese Dream before that, I think that's another fantastic album. So clearly in this period, even if there was some turmoil and turnover in terms of group membership, it feels like they were continually crafting very powerful, emotional, and or just compelling songs. So yeah, shout out to Billy and Co. Do let me know what you think, and the now tranquil Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.